his first offseason as Michigan's head coach, Dusty May brought in 9 newcomers, giving him the 9th best transfer class, the 58th best freshman class, and the 43rd best class overall. I'll break down the film of all 9, including the big man duo at the end of this video. Roddy Gale is a 6'4" junior shooting guard transferring from Ohio State. He averaged 13.5 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game at Ohio State last year. He is a very, very good athlete that can act as a combo guard, but is more naturally a 2 guard. He's a really good driver of the ball. He can attack closeouts, he can run pick and roll, and that allows him to get both to the rim and in the paint in the half court and transition. Now, the jump shot has been very, very streaky. His freshman year, he shot 43% on about 50 attempts, and last year he shot 28% on just over 100 attempts. But even within last season, there was a stretch where he shot the ball really well at the beginning and then struggled late in the season. He's a really versatile defender that I think can legitimately guard at least positions 1 through 3, maybe some 4s depending on matchup, but most likely 1 through 3s. He has really good hands, which leads to deflections and potentially some steals. I think he can run the offense when needed, and he can be this kind of primary guy, run a lot of pick and rolls, facilitate for others, because he is comfortable facilitating the ball, although he is probably best off ball being able to attack bent defenses. He's really comfortable getting to the floaters, whether it be on ball or attacking off ball, and that's something that he gets to a lot. So in this clip right here with Roddy Gale, we're going to look at his ability to kind of get to that mid-range, the floater area that he likes. This is going to be him right here with the ball in his hands, going to pass, and then eventually get it back here. And so ball screen is going to be set here on the kind of the wing. Notice the post up is going on the strong side as well. And Gale does a good job a lot of times of kind of refusing and getting to that baseline where he won't actually use this screen, but instead go the opposite way and get to his space here. Now with the post kind of sealing, that means that Gale's going to have an opportunity to kind of get to this spot right here, which he's going to do in this play as he gets to a little push shot floater right in that like 8-foot mark that he loves to do. If you're enjoying, please like and subscribe and comment who you think will be the best next year out of the 9. Justin Pippen is a 6'3" freshman combo guard who played at Sierra Canyon in California last year. He averaged 16.5 points, 4.9 assists, and 4.5 rebounds per game. He is a very athletic combo guard that has, I think, a lot of the groundwork to really develop into a very, very good player. The jump shot is going to be something that probably translates right away. Very good shooter last year, smooth, repeatable release. Now, a lot of it was mainly off the catch, but that's a role that he can play in college pretty much right away. I do think there is a lot of upside off the dribble, both from the three-point line and also the ability to get to the rim, but I think last year he did struggle a bit finishing around the rim. He has the athleticism to kind of get there and be able to absorb contact, just didn't always have the touch that he needed to really be able to convert down there. He's a solid facilitator, although if he does end up playing as a true point guard, I think that part of the game may take a little bit of time to fully develop. He moves really well defensively, good athleticism, and I think he could be a pretty good point of attack defender. So in this clip right here, I want to look at Pippen's ability to, one, get downhill and use that athleticism, but then also create for others. Because like I said, he does have facilitating upside. It just may take a little bit to be like a true point. This is going to be him right here, about to receive this pass on the left wing. And so now he's just going to be able to drive baseline. And he does do a good job with the athleticism of getting downhill. I think the touch just needs to improve around the rim. So now he's able to get downhill, and he's forcing this defense to rotate. I mean, you can see 3 guys basically collapse in onto him. And so from there, he's just going to make the good skip pass, get a shooter wide open in the corner, knock it down. Trey Donaldson is a 6'3" junior point guard transferring from Auburn. He averaged 6.7 points, 3.2 assists, and 2.4 rebounds in just under 20 minutes a game last season. He is definitely a playmaking point guard, kind of this traditional true point guard that wants to be able to facilitate for others more than anything. He has very good control of the ball, pretty good handle, and that allows him to be comfortable running pick and roll. Now, with that, he's going to be trying to facilitate a lot more than shoot, which is kind of what I said before, but he doesn't have too many issues in terms of turnovers. I do think sometimes he's a little bit slower on processing the game, and so some of the passes are just a touch late. The jumper is smooth, though. He's been over 40% both years from 3 on low volume, but still. I think the jumper's smooth and should be able to continue being good. I do not trust the finishing at the rim in the half court. Don't know if he quite has the athleticism to fully consistently kind of be able to convert down there. He does get to the free throw line and then kind of just spray out from there in terms of being able to drive and kick out. And I think he has pretty good hands on defense. He does have to give up a little bit of space, but the hands kind of help make up for it at times. So in this clip right here, we're going to look at Donaldson's ability to kind of get downhill a little bit and then create for others. This is going to be him with the ball right here at the top of the key. He's going to get a pick and roll, kind of ghost this out is what Auburn is running right here. Defender's still going to be kind of stuck there, but not the best defense from the big right here. And so Donaldson's able to kind of turn this corner and then get downhill. He's 6'3", 200, so he has pretty good size to absorb contact. And now kind of once he's here, he's just reading the defense. So he's reading this defender for this guy right here. If this guy cuts, then he's going to be depending on what this guy does. And then the other one is what this defender does. He knows that he's going to be in a 2-on-1 spot. And so once that happens, I mean, you can see that this defender rotates down, defense rotates over, and that's just a sick pass from Donaldson. Getting this defender to engage with him right here and then still get the drop off at the rim and allow him to dunk. Deral Brooks is a 6'2" freshman point guard who played at Catholic Central in Michigan last season. He averaged 27.1 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. He is a very dynamic lead guard that really excels at getting downhill. That's kind of his bread and butter, is being able to just get into the paint and then finish right around the rim. He has a good enough handle to create separation, but he has really good body control, and I think that's what kind of sets him apart, that allows him to finish at the rim. I think there's upside facilitating, but it's going to be another guy that's going to have an adjustment if he is playing closer to a true point guard. In high school, he was more of a scorer, but I do think eventually in college, he'll be more of kind of this more traditional true point guard. The shooting is a swing skill for me. He showed the ability to knock down mid-ranges and had some comfort in there, but I don't know if I fully trust the form. And the other thing that's just kind of weird, especially for a guy that scored as much as he did, is he just didn't really take threes. Like, he had comfort in the mid-range, but didn't really take any threes, so it'll be interesting to see what he does there. But I like the upside as a physical kind of point of attack defender on the other end. So in this clip right here, I want to look at Brooks' ability to get downhill, finish at the rim, as I think that is probably his strongest traits heading into college. This is going to be him with the ball up here, kind of the left wing. And so kind of flowing through offense, nothing's really happening from them. And so from there, it's just going to be kind of a one-on-one ISO. So he's going to just size up his defender, and then he does a good job of just getting downhill. And then from there, this he doesn't create like a ton of separation with this, but he has really good body control that he's going to be able to kind of manipulate, get through the defense, and then still get a clean look at the rim right there. Ruben Jones is a 6'5", fifth-year combo guard transferring from North Texas. He averaged 12 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game in 30 minutes a game. He is a solid point guard that does a good job really of taking care of the ball, can run pick and roll, and although he's kind of listed as a combo guard because I think he can play off ball, he definitely is very comfortable with the ball in his hands. And with the ball in his hands, he's another guard that wants to get downhill. He is pretty shifty, and that allows him to kind of create the separation, but he doesn't do a good job of converting on it. So if he does get a step, oftentimes it doesn't end up in a good result. He really struggled kind of finishing both inside the paint and at the rim. Didn't take many mid-range shots, but also struggled from there. He can facilitate out a pick and roll though, and so a lot of drives would maybe be potential kickouts as kind of a better result. And he has pretty good hands and moves well defensively. He's a guy that never really dies on screens, and I really like the defensive upside. Very good three-point shooter last year, but almost everything was kind of standstill catch and shoot three. He should be a guy that, if needed, can kind of help run the show, but also can be more of this like 3-and-D wing type player. So with Jones, I want to look at what he can bring on the defensive side of the ball. This is going to be him kind of on ball right here, guarding John L. Davis from FAU. They're going to run a ball screen, and Golden sets a very good screen. So as you can see here, like Golden makes that initial contact, and then there's kind of another one right there. So now Jones is going to kind of have to be trailing from behind. But what I really like about him is he never ever like dies on screens. So sometimes guys, this happens, and then they just kind of can't really get back into the play at all. He's going to fight back into it, be able to allow his big to rotate back to Golden, and then still get there in time to be able to deflect the pass and force a turnover. Sam Walters is a 6'10" sophomore forward transferring from Alabama. He averaged 5.4 points, 2.4 rebounds in 12 minutes a game. He shot the ball great as a freshman. He was nearly 40% from three. Alabama's system is designed for a lot of at the rim or three-pointers. He didn't have the biggest role, and so there's going to be plenty of room for him to develop. Most of his threes were standstill. He was 39 for 99. A lot of them were pretty much just standstill catch and shoot threes. But at 6'10", he's less affected by being contested or open. He shot well on both. Now, there's a couple things that I'm interested to see in him being able to develop. One is, can he be a guy that, if needed, can attack closeouts? So just kind of put the ball on the ground, 1-2 dribbles, try to get to the rim, as he's going to be respected more as a shooter. The other thing is he going to be able to be a movement shooter if given the opportunity? Didn't have a ton of chances at Alabama, but can he be a guy that, can be a pick and pop guy, can run off a pin down if needed? I think defensively he moves pretty stiff, but if he's able to kind of develop into his body, put on a little bit of weight, he could be an intriguing guy as kind of the stretch five that causes matchup problems for the other side. So in this clip right here, we are going to be looking at the shooting from Walters. Alabama's going to be pushing the ball up. This is going to be him right here, kind of right wing. And you're going to see him. This is a little bit of the movement right here where he's able to come off and just kind of curl into this. Now, it isn't a ton of movement, but can this be kind of a consistent role in his shooting ability going forward? Gets here. I do think he has kind of a lower release where it kind of pushes forward a bit, but 6'10", shot the ball really well, knocks that one down. Lorenzo Kase is a 6'2" freshman combo guard who played at Victory Christian Academy in Florida. He averaged 24.5 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.4 assists per game. He is a dynamic guard that has kind of the build of a Big Ten guard already. Now, he isn't overly athletic, but he still wants to drive a lot, has kind of the body composition to be able to absorb contact at times. I think he has a really good understanding of where the ball needs to go on offense. I really like the facilitating upside. He drives and kicks well. He just understands how to kind of manipulate defenses to create openings. I buy the jumper, and I think eventually it will translate at the Big Ten level. Now, he has upside finishing at the rim, but I think he struggled to really consistently get good looks, especially in the half court. He had a tendency at times, I think, to get caught on his drives. That resulted in a lot of turnovers, so just kind of being able to pick his spots a little bit better. But he'll also be able to push the ball. If Michigan wants to get on transition, Kase is very, very good at that and should be able to just kind of be able to push the ball whenever he wants. All right, so on this clip right here, I want to look at Kase's ability to kind of get downhill and then drive and kick, because I think that's probably his biggest strength coming to Michigan. This is going to be him with the ball right here on the right wing. He's going to ISO, kind of size up, and I think he has a pretty good handle, and I do think he's very fast with the ball, which kind of allows him to create some space, but the handle itself doesn't always lead to good shots. But what this does right here, so now as he's getting into the paint, that weak side defender right here, the low man, is going to rotate over. And so now he's going to know that he has this skip pass to the corner wide open. And that's exactly what he does. Makes a great pass there, get a shooter a look, knock it down. Vladislav Golden is a 7'1" fifth-year center transferring from Florida Atlantic. He averaged 15.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.6 blocks per game last season. The offense has just been really, really good overall. He moves pretty well. He has pretty good hands. Now, I do think he can get it pushed around a little bit in the post, but he's a guy that can finish with legitimately either hand in the post. He often will kind of go up quicker, just basically using his size to go over the top of the defense, but really good touch with both hands. He's a very legitimate roller. Like, he has pretty good movement at 7'1" that allows him to kind of catch on the move and still finish. I also think he's quietly a very, very good screen setter, which is a big thing within the offense. He's just a very kind of good big man down low overall. Defensively, I think he's fine. He has obviously very good kind of upside as terms of a rim protector, being 7'1", a little bit of movement, but I think he is pretty much going to have to be in a deep drop. Anything outside of that where he really does have to move on the perimeter is probably a struggle. He's a good rebounder, not great. I think he allows positioning a good amount, but he's shown that he can be a guy that can be very, very effective in whatever minutes he's kind of given. So in this clip right here, I want to look at Golden's ability in the post. This is going to be him on the left block. He's going to get the ball, very normal stuff, and then Florida Atlantic's going to clear out this pretty much entire side, allowing him to just kind of go to work. And so as he does, kind of sizing up where the defense is at, one dribble, the double comes, and he was fine passing out. I don't think it's like his best trait in terms of being able to pass out of the double, but he does a good job stepping through here. And I mean, this is a 10-foot kind of floater almost. Really good touch over the outstretched defense, still able to get it to go, just is able to kind of do a lot of good stuff in the post. Danny Wolf is a 7-foot junior center transferring from Yale. He averaged 14.1 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. He is a very highly skilled big. He's willing to put the ball on the ground and attack off the dribble. Now, a lot of the draw maybe comes from attacking opposing fives, but he also showed the ability to kind of just be able to go at guards in the Ivy League. Very good pick and pop threat. Now, he is very bad shooting off the dribble. Like, if he's going to pick and pop, you probably just want him to catch and shoot, but he shot 35% from three last year, can be a fine shooter. there were some very high level passes. There was just times that he was able to make some passes that it's just like guys his make shouldn't really be able to do. But he also will force at times, so it's a little bit of a give and take. I think defensively, he's a drop big with some rim protection. He isn't the most mobile big defensively, and so if he is paired with Golden, it is going to be interesting to see what they are able to do defensively. He is a very, very good defensive rebounder, top 10 last year in the country in defensive rebounding percentage. He just kind of at times almost wants to play like a big guard, and I think the offense is going to be a ton of fun to watch. Has a lot of attributes that he can do. Need to be sold on kind of the defense though and what the fit is. So in this clip right here, want to look at Wolf's ability to put the ball on the ground from the perimeter, get to the rim, still converts. And so this is going to be him right here, getting the ball up at the top of the key. Now this is interesting too because he can be a guy that can be like throw a high low to Golden, or he can be a guy that can take the guy off the dribble, things like that. There's a lot of versatility, flow into a handoff. It's just going to be interesting to see how he's used up at the top of the key. Catches here, looks for the pass, okay, it's not there, size up, and now at 7 foot, he's just able to take his guy off the dribble, get down to the block, and then get a pretty tough kind of hook floater shot right there to be able to go. So just a lot of skill from Wolf, gonna be fun to see how he's used. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and click here to see the Rutgers Newcomers preview.